All right, welcome into another edition of the Cornhole Insider Podcast. I'm Joel Karnick. This is pro player Blake Karnick. How you doing,
Thank you
Blake?
for having me again.
Our special guest. He is in limbo. One of the few people in the country who's in limbo between a couple of pro statuses. More on that later. We want to thank Ruthless Bags for sponsoring this video podcast and for sponsoring Team Karnick here. Check out ruthlessbags.com. Put in Karnick 2022 and you get 10% off, right?
Yes, sir.
That's still good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Before we get into our episode talking about doubles, how to be a good doubles partner, we want to thank a brand new sponsor to our podcast. It is the Knob Creek Design, and they are from northern Wisconsin, Birchwood. Eric Whitaker, who is kind of a woodworking specialist. He's really loving designing bomb boxes and boards, and he can do just about anything for you. Blake, we saw a very unique set of boards in a little town here a couple weeks ago that he had, and he had like 30 hours into those things. Not sure you'd want to throw on them, but they're really cool.
There's some really cool designs. He puts a lot of time into them, so definitely high quality also. So check him out. They're nice ones.
Knob Creek Design on Facebook. Message Eric. Prices are awesome. He'll ship anywhere in the U.S. Really good guy. Knob Creek Design. And for those of you who missed spelling in elementary, that's K-N-O-B. Knob Creek Design. Also special thanks to Wheelway Autos, wheelwayautos.com, State Farm Insurance, and also to Patty and Rick Flora for sponsoring Team Karnick here and Team Ruthless. So before we get into, Blake, doubles, we're going to talk a little bit about, we're going to answer a question each episode. Somebody asked about following through, was watching some of the pro series on TV and saw a lot of different follow through. Some players, really extending out like this, others coming across their body like this, others with a really low release. Is there still something consistent even though they look different, those follow throughs?
Yeah, the one thing for me I can see it's consistent amongst every high level player is no matter where they're opening up, if it's over here, if it's more down here, up here, they're all opening up at the same time with that hand and getting the bag out of there instead of just some people release it back here, some wait too long and sky it up there. They're all, no matter what they're doing, they're opening up and releasing at the same time.
So, and I think there's a confusion, and sometimes I get confused that to spin the bag, some people think it's the arm motion that comes across. And really, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the spin and that rotation comes from that finger blast. Yep, like that. And that's what they're all doing. Like you said, if you watch Mark Richards when he played, yes, he's kind of coming across, but look at right as his release point. Boom.
Yep, it all comes from just here, all that. It's not just really ripping like that. Some people do that and it works for them, but in order to get high spin, all you have to do is just got to open up. It all comes from the wrist and opening up like that.
Yep. So the answer to your question, the person who asked it is, yes, they all look different, but the consistency of boom, those fingers have got to come out.
Some people go release a little, they kind of end with their hand closed or they end really extended out, but no matter what, they're still opening up at some point in that throw.
All right. Hope that helps you. So in today's show, we're going to talk about doubles, being a good doubles partner. Blake and I have talked about this a lot, and we've played in hundreds of tournaments at various locations, some good, some bad. And we see a lot of doubles teams that struggle with communication. When you're playing doubles, Blake, the advantage is you've got someone right there looking at the boards on the other end. So there has to be some communication, right?
Yep. Game is 50-50 when it's doubles, and you kind of got a coach down there. They can see the board a lot better than you can down there. They can see what's near the hole and situation in the game. They're there to help you. You got to remember that. They're there to help you.
And whether you're playing with your own partner or you're playing a blind draw, some people aren't real receptive maybe to instruction, but you can at least give them advice anyway.
There's always going to be debate, and I debate you all the time, and you debate me sometimes, but I mean, you got to know your partner.
And you have to be able to communicate verbally. And if it's someone you've played with for a while, I think you got to be able to communicate non-verbally, because you get to a lot of tournaments where there's music playing. Everybody's had that match where you're right next to the speaker.
There's a time limit. There's a time limit in between rounds too, so you can't be debating it without calling it. You only get one timeout per doubles match, I believe. So you can't be debating it too long. And you're right, if there's loud music playing or PA announcers, whatever, you got to be able to communicate non-verbally to your teammate.
Yeah, and it's very simple. Blake and I use very simple ones. Sometimes I see him, and sometimes I don't when he says. But we're very simple. I mean, if the arm goes up in the air and we're like this, we know go get it. That's an airmail. If they go like this, sometimes Blake has to go way.
I gotta slam the ground like King Kong sometimes, and just
sometimes
like that.
If it's dimly lit because my eyes aren't the greatest, whatever it takes to say. And if it's a push through, we'll just kind of say,
Push through,
slide through, And sometimes we'll have to communicate slippery side or sticky side, because if it's not the fourth bake, sometimes it's better to push through sticky or slippery, and sometimes Blake will say sticky side, just nudge it in and leave it there. You have to be able to communicate in doubles, like, because the teams that do communicate, that couple of times where they make the right shot could be the difference.
Yep, you gotta know what arsenal your teammate has in their shots, rolling, airmailing, cutting, and if they're comfortable with stepping out. You don't know what bags you're throwing. It's all about knowing your teammate, communicating with them beforehand if it's a blind draw partner, and just being smart about it.
And be aware too of what how you like to throw as far as inside arm or outside arm.
Yep.
When you practice, pay attention to how you throw inside arm, outside arm. Blake and I have an advantage when we throw together because I'm lefty and he's righty, so we can always just flip ends and be all right. But if you got a righty, lefty, lefty, you have to be able to ask your partner inside arm, outside arm, and if you like a certain way, get that inside arm.
Yep, you got to communicate with them pretty much right before every game or the first game I'm playing. If it's a blind draw partner or someone I'm not too familiar with, I'm always asking inside or outside, what are you more comfortable with? And if they say whatever you want, I'm going to take what I'm comfortable with, because if they're going to give me that option, I'm going to try throwing the best I can if they don't choose at all.
All right, so we're going to set up a few scenarios here and just kind of talk through the communication process. And some of this may be pretty basic for people who play at a high level, but I think for people who play socially and stuff, you really need to get good at this, of being able to understand what to do. And you know what? Even if it's the wrong call, be decisive. Even if you tell them to throw an airmail and afterwards you're like, well, maybe you shouldn't have, just be decisive. And if you're not sure, give them an option, right? Yep.
What I've seen on TV a lot and from high-level people is, if they ask their partner, the partner's like, what came to your mind first? Because that's usually what you're most comfortable with, is what you think of first. If you think airmail right away, you're like, oh, maybe I should lay up. Unless if it's clear and obvious to your partner, they should say whatever you're most, not whatever you're most confident with, because that's a very muddy answer. It's
comfortable.
Not whatever you're most comfortable with, and ask what did you think first, and you have to be honest with your partners, like we've been saying.
Sometimes you just go through stretches where the airmail shot just doesn't feel good, and if there's another option that's just as good, your partner may say, you know what, it's just I'm not feeling that airmail, and he may decide to just slide it.
Yep.
So that's fine.
You got to be on the same page with your partner and communicate to them what you're comfortable with and what they're comfortable with.
All right, so we're going to set up the boards here and go through a couple different scenarios. Some of it may be basic to some of you, but some of it may be very helpful, and that's what we hope. So let's get it set up and talk about being a good doubles partner. Okay, so we're going to go through a fairly simple scenario, but again, it's one, Blake and I play a lot of tournaments that we see people just not being aggressive enough, not having confidence in their game. So I have 3 bags that I've thrown, and Blake will be throwing his third one. I've got 1 in the hole and 2 on right here. And Blake's got a couple sitting right here, 1 kind of on the edge. Now, a lot of times we'll see this in tournaments where people will just be conservative and they'll just throw it on the front of the board and say, you know what, you go ahead and shoot it. You got a bag hanging. You got an opponent's bag sitting back here. Have some confidence. Shoot the airmail, right, Blake?
Yeah, this is screaming airmail to me, like he said. I got a backboard there. I have 1 to drag, and I have a bag that's covering his, making his bag very hard to get on a push. You might as well be aggressive on this.
Don't wait for your opponent to make a mistake. You go get it. Best case scenario here, Blake puts both of his in and one's that off the back. All of a sudden, he's in control of the round.
Some people with the roll shot might be saying, you could roll it here too. You can, but I don't see a reason in maybe bunching up the hole even more. This is your chance to go grab some points in the round right here.
All right, so let's throw that airmail. Let's drag it in.
See if I can drain it.
This is only his 3rd bag, so see what happens.
See if I can drain it. Got it.
All right, so we nailed it. Now he's up 7.
And I spun yours a little bit on the back.
Yep, now he's up 7-5. Okay, opponent's next bag goes in the hole. So he's down 8-7 right now. And again, Sure, that one, maybe you could step out and get it closer, but on a final bag, probably isn't going to happen. You hit one, hit two, right? Go get it.
You just made one. You might as well shoot a second one. And again, if you got a roll shot, rolling over a diamond, for me, it's a difficult shot. It's more difficult than just shooting the airmail. You might get an and one, too.
I give him that. I give him the over the top. Even if he misses it, he gives up 1 point. If he makes it, he's going to get 2. If he knocks him off the back, he gets 3. So hit the shot, good things can happen here.
I just made it. Might as well go for it.
At the worst, it's 1 point, so shoot it.
Unless if it's a shot for the loss here. That's the only time I wouldn't shoot it. Maybe. But see if I can drain it again. Oh,
almost had it, rimmed it off.
Around.
It's a wash, and a round that Blake was kind of buried on early.
I was down 3, and I only had 2 bags left, so I came back and hit a wash. I made a shot. So
all right, let's set up a different scenario.
Okay, so new situation this round. I have 2 in and 1 on to have 7, and he has 1 in and 2 on to have 5. He has throw right now. So in this round, since I have a bag left, I'm not going to tell him to lay up because I think that's too conservative of a throw to try to do that. I'm not going to try and tell him to airmail because I think that's way too risky of a shot. I think I can still push right here and get a lot of points. So my best advice as his doubles partner, I'm going to tell him to step out and try pushing his 2. Maybe it nudges mine out of the way as a little bully bag. And if it bunches up, well, you're just doing damage control then.
All right, and that's, again, that's good communication. Is we didn't talk about the step out, but give your partner that wave out. And
obviously in the game, I'm not going to walk him through every situation. I just told him. I'm going to tell him my final point is I think you should step out and try pushing. If you bunch it up, then it's damage control.
So I know now, okay, the expectation of me putting both bags in the hole is going to be a really hard shot. If I leave it just pinched between his and mine, that's fine. So now I have a target spot, and I kind of know the expectations of the shot. So I know exactly what I need to do here. Now I just need to do it. Here we go.
Just got to execute. Now that's perfect. That's exactly kind of what I wanted. He bunched it up. So if I try pushing now on this other side, I'm going to take at least 2 of his whiff, maybe 3, because his bag on the back moved. So it puts me in a spot where only situation I really have is to try and lay up and give up 2.
Because a lot of people would have thrown that shot without communication, and they would have thought, "Oh man, I didn't go in." Where now I know as his partner, that's exactly really what I wanted to do right there. That was almost better than being in.
It would have been so difficult for you in this round to just get points. It's more just giving up 2, unless if it was like a situation in the game where you were going to lose if you did not get all those bags in, then I tell you to be more aggressive. But this is early middle in the game, like over 95% of the game is, and just play smart. You can give up 2 points. It's not that big of a deal.
Communicate, hand signal.
Now I'm gonna come down and throw my final bag. I'm going to do what I shouldn't do as my last bag. Let's say you come down here and give me bad advice.
Okay.
You give me impulsive advice here that I probably should not do.
Okay. So Blake's gonna give me the he's gonna go like this. He's gonna be like, "What should I do?" Because he doesn't have any idea what he should do right here. So his opponent, that's my bag.
You don't want to let. You're an aggressive player. You want to.
I got three sitting on top, and we know that if Blake puts it on the board, he'll get 2 points. Okay, it's 8-6. But we're thinking, oh man, we could take them all and
I could bar soap his 2 out of there and push mine in.
So I'm just gonna say, it's open. Yeah, it's open. Go ahead.
And I'm gonna be his partner and I can push them bar soap it because heck, when I was at ACL Worlds this weekend, I saw a lot of people saying, bar soap that, shoot it. And just in my mind, I'm like, you got to play smarter in that because that's like a 5% shot for 99% of people. That's such a low percentage.
So this should be put it on the board, take your 2 shot. But Blake's going to try to bar soap it here. He's going to go for the glory shot. He's going to go for that.
I'll step out.
He's going to go for that shot that'll make the highlights.
I'm on this side. I'm just chucking it. And look at that. Did yours bunch up? Did I put one of yours in?
No, they all went because they were touching bags on the bottom.
So they weren't. So I gave up 2 there since he had to rake it out of there. I gave up 2 points instead of getting 2 points just by playing stupid aggressive.
Yep. Sometimes putting it on the board isn't a bad thing. All right. All right. We'll do one more scenario here as we talk about being a good doubles partner. All right. Our final scenario is a very common one. is somebody leaves one of those garbage bags on the board way up front, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do with that? Am I going to try to get around? Am I going to step out and get around it? Am I going to airmail it? How am I going to handle that? So me as Blake's partner, Blake has 2 bags in, and he has 2 in hand, and I've got 2 in, 1 on, so I'm up 7-6 right now in this round. Now Blake's a good airmailer. Obviously, this bag of my opponent is not. I don't even think it's a factor with unless you're playing like Trey or like Jamie Graham or something who can spin it and take that thing all the way up. So my instruction to Blake right B would be to airmail it. If you leave it short right in here, that's not a terrible thing, but just to shoot it. What do you think, Blake?
In my mind, there might be a little bit of a disagreement here because 7-6, I see that. That's a diamond block, a V block, some people call it. I think I can maybe step out and go around it. It is a little low. Airmailing with my 3rd bag, I'm down 7-6 in the round right now. I think that might be a little too aggressive. So if you said, I think you should shoot it, and I'm going to ask, is there room to step out? And what would you say if I said, I think there's room to step out?
I'd say if you feel comfortable with that, because he could throw slippery right here. He could get, even if he doesn't go in the hole, he's going to nudge my bag to the side. And now he's got a chance with his 4th bag to take it all in and to get maybe 4 points out of the deal.
Let's say worst case, I pull it to that left side and then I leave him a little slot to push it. That's a carpet bag number 1, and it's a diamond block. I think that's a very tough bag to push up consistently. That's a Jamie Graham high-level shot.
So this is one of those situations where you tell your partner, you can shoot it, or if you feel comfortable stepping out, go around it. So Blake feels comfortable stepping out, so he's going to try to go slippery side and get around it.
Step out. I'm not going to overly step out like the 3 feet maximum, but since it's a diamond block, I'm just stepping out a little bit, seeing if I can get around that. And also, let's think of another thing. If I asked you, sticky or slippery side on this, since it's low on the board, what are you saying if I ask, should I go sticky or slippery?
For you, I'm going slippery side to make sure your bag at least gets up to the hole. What do you think?
I agree on that. I think I should go slippery.
Because I don't want his bag just stopping like right here and then all of a sudden now he's in trouble. I want the bag to slither right up here and at least hang on the hole.
I don't want it to bunch up. So step out, slippery side, see if I can maybe sneak around that. That was a little too aggressive. I threw that too hard. Okay. But that was the worst case right there, like I said.
Worst case scenario, but now, I mean, my bag is next, and now I'm gonna obviously bring it up in here, but it is pinched in there. That's a really tough push shot unless you're a really high level player.
Now you go down and shoot your shot with this bag, and I'll be your doubles partner here.
Sure, put the pressure on me.
Your stupid opponent gave you a lucky break. He brought that garbage bag up for
All right, so my partner is going to give me instruction now because I'm looking at that bag and say, well, I can just push that in. I don't see that corner is kind of tucked in there. So what do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of stood up weird, but even though it's like that, I'm seeing a big opportunity at 2 points. I'm going to tell you to push through it still. I'm still going to tell you, but you got to throw right under it because, like I said, it's it's laying up on its side. It's kind of on a diamond, so you got to get through it.
You want me slippery to go right through it?
Yep.
All right. See if we can do it. We come in a little
deeper. 2 points in this round.
See if we can make it happen here.
That's not bad. You pushed yours up. It's going to leave me a tough shot. So I got 1 bag left. I'm down 8-7. You come down here and you tell me what you think.
And again, sometimes not being in the hole is just as good as being in because now I've forced Blake to make a shot for 2 points.
Obviously, he would have liked to be in there to get his 2.
I would love to have been in the hole.
That's still not horrible. It's going to be really hard for me to get points.
But I think it's better, Blake, in that situation for me to have thrown a nice controlled shot and end up there than to really try and fling it and then you see that off the back of the board. I made Blake make a low percentage shot. For him to get in on this without taking me with is going to be a really tough shot.
Obviously, you want every shot to go according to the plan. Obviously, I wanted him to push through that whole thing and get 2 points. But surprising news, we don't make every single shot that we plan to make in this game. Everybody doesn't. So you kind of go on the fly in this game every single round, every single bag. You got to be thinking, you got to be smart.
Yep. And remember, when games end 21-19, 21-20, decisions that you make and telling your partner what to do in that 3rd or 4th round might have been the difference between winning or losing that game. Every single round matters.
So what are you telling me here as a doubles partner?
As your doubles partner, I'm telling you to shoot it on the back side of the hole because even if you miss it, We give up one.
Mm-hmm.
It's 8 to 7. And I'm saying just don't leave it short. Try to get in the back side of the hole. Let's see if we can get a couple.
You gotta know the bag you're throwing too, because if I was throwing like a sticky carpet, like a BG or a Pro Advantage, or like that bag, like a Ruthless Obnoxious, I might say, can I roll that? Can I hop over it? But since we're throwing a bag that plays more like a Surefire or a Viper C, that's probably not the smartest shot here. So
if you're a roller, roll would be the option right here.
If you got a roll shot and a sticky roll bag like a BG, you can hop over this. But
that would be nice.
anything else, I'm going to say layup or airmail. Since it's early, let's say it's early or middle in the game, I'm going to shoot it, and you better tell me also, leave it long if you're going to miss.
Don't miss short.
If I miss it short, I could give them 3 points, maybe even 5 if I really leave it short.
Yep.
So you got to get it there on that back side.
Shoot the back. Let's make a statement here. Here we go.
Yeah, if you hit this shot in the last round, other teams are going to be like, oh, they came to play today. And they're going to have that in their mind the rest of the game. So see if I can make a nice backside airmail. Nope, I almost had it, but I left it long. It rimmed around and it stayed on. I got a wash regardless.
Wash is a win in that case.
I got lucky and unlucky at the same time. So
all right.
Wash,
remember,
move on to the next round.
Disagreements between partners, not a bad thing. Just be nice to each other, all right? All right, so remember, communicate. Communicate with your partner, especially if it's someone you play with a lot, you have a good relationship. Talk with them before matches. Go talk with them right now. Call them on the phone and say, you know what? We need to talk. We need to talk about our doubles game because it's very important. Like when you get to a high level, we saw it on national broadcasts and such. Even the guys who don't talk much, there's nonverbal communication. You get to that high level, telling your partner the right shot is very important.
A good example of a top doubles team that talks a lot between each other. They played on ESPN last week. It was Cody Henderson and Adam Hisner. They talk a lot. They're always communicating. They know each other really well, so they're comfortable with talking with each other. An example of a pair that might not talk as much is just you and your local blind draw partner. They might have just stepped in this week, and you might not know them that well. You got to be assertive, not a jerk. You don't want to be like, I'm throwing my bags, and this is how we're playing. You got to be able to talk with them, saying, what's your game? What bags do you like to throw? What kind of shots you're comfortable with? What's your skill level? So kind of questions like that are important to ask.
Communicate verbally. If it's too loud, hand gesture. Make sure you're making the right shot. Be decisive. If you're not sure, give them a couple options. Say airmail, or you could slide around. Give them a couple options and let them be comfortable with whatever shot that they want to make. But it's very important. The doubles can come down to that communication. So thank you to our sponsors, Ruthless Bags. Check out ruthlessbags.com. Put in Karnik 2022. And you'll get 10% off your order from Cisco and Josh, a couple of real good guys from over in the lower part of the UP. Thanks again to State Farm and to wheelwayautos.com for sponsoring us. And check out Knob Creek Design on Facebook. Message Eric Whitaker. He'll do some great boards for you at a really nice price. Great guy, great people. All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you as well.
We'll be back again soon with another edition of the Cornhole Insider podcast.
Don't forget to
subscribe, please.
Subscribe, like.
Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. It's really gotten crazy, the number of people that are watching these videos, and we appreciate all the comments. If there's something you want us to do or show-wise, or you have any questions, we'll try to respond to them. So thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again soon.